Can I build a full glass house in The Sims 4? So the challenge today is to make a fully glass house. Every single wall, every single roof will be made of glass. And the challenge will be to make this an actual livable and cute looking house. So let's get building. So my inspiration for today is like really fancy greenhouses. But then instead of that being an actual greenhouse, we'll try to make it an actual livable house. So a lot of these really fancy greenhouses have like a dome shaped roof. So I'm gonna use these little spheres to turn this into a more rounded shape. I have never built something like this before and I don't know if I like it, but we're committing at the moment. Another thing I want to do, and I don't know if I can, but I really want to make like more layers. So what I'm gonna try is I'm gonna add a room up here. Then we'll add another roof to that. So I don't think this will work with the glass roofs, because it's gonna look weird and floating. Yes, that looks terrible. That doesn't look good. Ooh, that's ugly. What am I doing? What am I doing? Because like hypothetically this looks fun, right? That's a fun feature. But add in the glass roofs and suddenly we have floating pillars. Oh my god. There's a hole in our roof. There is a hole in our roof. That is another challenging part of this. Glass doesn't really work in The Sims. Like, how many things don't really work in The Sims? Apparently, whatever idea I just had makes holes in roofs. I think we're just doomed. I don't think a layered roof is gonna work. Also, I think we're gonna struggle quite a lot making these not look weird, like intersecting and stuff. I think that might be an issue as well. Okay, wait, I have an idea. We make that like really skinny. How's that? Is that weird? A little. I think that's the best we can do though. The half-gabled roofs are kind of like the ones that want to align perfectly, sort of, almost perfectly. Don't look too closely. Clearly do not look too closely. Okay, we're dragging in all the eaves, which is like so against everything I usually do. But do you see my issue? Like that, just no. No, that's a no. That is a big no. Let's put in the glass walls. I'm just gonna do like a basic, whoa. Okay, good. That didn't scare me. That wasn't scary. Oh, I hate it already. There's so much glare happening as well. Like when it catches the light, it's just chaos. All right, I feel like that's something. Right? Can we need to consider if we want like a foundation or not. Like give me a bit of a porch, a tiny porch, and a staircase. Somehow I do think it's more natural for this to be on the floor, right? That makes more sense to me. But that doesn't mean we can't at least do like a porch-like thing. We just like extend our roof a bit. Just do that. And then we add like pillars. Which pillars are gonna be like the big thing that's gonna save us, because that's definitely what is gonna give this like structure. Okay, I'm not feeling it yet, to be perfectly honest. I think we need like a little foundation, but maybe just one like this where we don't need a staircase to get in, just like the lowest possible. And then if we make this green as well, because I've made all of the accents green, because I don't know, the fancy like glass houses are all green for some reason. I don't know why. They just are. Let's also see what kind of, like this makes sense to me, right? Oh, ew. No, that looks terrible. I think we gotta like mix and match. Ooh, wait a second. That's pretty. No, but I like that. That might have been something. How many pillars is too many pillars? I like this because it kind of like implies that there is some sort of like window thing. Okay. What about like doors? I feel like in the spirit of the challenge, we want those to be glass as well. We have different options for that. I want them to be green. Like we're really leaning into the green. So whatever we do, they need to be green. That is not bad. I think that makes sense. Are we getting somewhere? Who knows? Is this house definitely glitching at least a little bit? Yes. Should this be like less high? More round. Okay, wait, I have an idea. It's a long shot. Okay, so the plan is we do a half wall right at the height of the roof. Then we move the room that was supporting the half wall to the side. We raise it up a tiny bit, place a roof on that, then drag it fully off the room, drag it onto our half wall, and then realize that it's way too small a half wall. What if we do a double roof? Okay, it looks silly now, but like give it a moment, okay? Maybe I don't hate it though. You know what? I am gonna decide that I like that. I have a question though. Can I use a fence instead? Because I'm gonna use fences here as well. Like, we will have fences anyway. I think that looks better with the fence. It's a bit of a puzzle, but I think we'll get somewhere. Just add more columns, more details, more of this Enchanted by Nature paneled glass wall, which has like a little bit more color. And then another thing I wanted to try. Let's see what kind of green fences we have. Just like hypothetically speaking, what would it look like if we add some like fencing up here? Maybe just that though. Maybe just the little like low fence. So it's not really a fence, it's more like a detail. Okay, that's pretty. That's good. That's really good. I really truly think this is one of those builds where you just keep adding details so you're like, yes, that's it. We got it. You just gotta keep going. Let's add a little fence back here as well. By the way, if you ever want to like build a fence that doesn't have a foundation, even though your house has a foundation, just go the opposite direction. So if you start from the house and drag out, the house will have a foundation. But if you go the other way, it won't have a foundation, which I didn't know for the longest time and it drove me crazy. Oh, what about that on the corners? I think I am pretty happy with that exterior. We definitely want landscaping. And this needs to have like a really fancy garden, which I don't usually do those, but it lends itself to it so nicely. It kind of has to be. I think the easiest way to make this look neat is to have like dedicated sections of flowers. That hedge is too high though, which means we probably have to go in here, and this is also gonna be too high. So the annoying thing is I'm gonna have to size down every individual one of these to make the actual shape and then not be sure if I like it. We're gonna have to just like plot it out a bit more, I think, which means perfectly straight paths. I love doing these. This is not stressful at all. Okay, I've made a shape. Now let's see what happens when we put the hedges in. Like, the concept is kind of like a greenhouse somewhere in a palace garden that has since been converted into a house. That's the concept. And I'm gonna have to frequently check if I like it, because otherwise I'm gonna be placing a million of these individual hedges and then find out that I hate it, which is not what we want. Unfortunately, I have to report that I do in fact like it, so we have to keep going. Let me just like check the actual size difference. Oh yeah, no, that's a big size difference. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna keep going with the starter hedge. This house is gonna be so expensive just for the fact that I placed like a million of these. They're 45 simoleons each. Okay, do we still like it? Yes. Yes, I do. So I'm using the left bracket key to size these down, and then I'm placing them holding Alt so I can place them wherever I want. And then, you know, trying my best to keep it somewhat straight. But I don't mind if it's a little wonky because, you know, it is nature. And am I saying that mostly because I don't want to spend another 2 hours trying to straighten this up? Yes. I really like that. I think that complements the house very well. Gives it the frame it needed. Okay, and then for these areas, I want these to actually be accessible, both of these. So Sim should be able to walk in these areas and like sit down, and then the same over here. I am so curious to know how many hedges we placed, and that means we've placed every single individual hedge that we needed to. I think in this bit I want some trees, or at least like one tree, and then in these bits we just want like flowers. And I'm not using like too large of a variety of flowers because I think that will make it look messy, and we want it to look like really neat. So like not too many colors, not too many different shapes. Keep it quite simple. But then maybe on the outside I will have like a few wildflowers. It's like the slightest hint of nature. I think that's pretty. There's also another few things I really want to use. One of them is that one, because I genuinely don't think it will be complete without at least like one pretty fountain. And then another is something I don't use very often. I don't think I've ever placed these in a garden, but like if we're gonna place it in any garden, it's this one. At least one of those statues, right? I want to kind of embedded in some hedges, maybe? Okay, not bad. Okay, that's really pretty. Maybe we can do another one of those in this corner. We'll do that one instead. That's good. And then to make it functional, we'll have a table over there, and I think just a bunch of benches around the place. Do we want like sometimes having like one more big tree in the back? Like if we do this one but we size it up, sometimes that like really nicely anchors the house. I think that is the case this time too, right? I am like really liking where this is going. I mean, that being said, we are not done with the interior yet. We have not tackled the question of privacy yet. How are we gonna build a bathroom in this place when even the interior walls also need to be glass? I'm not sure yet. I am not sure yet. I feel like, is this the logical place for a bathroom? Or to the side? Because I'm also like considering I'm probably going to use a lot of curtains, right? To give them like a little bit of privacy. But the curtains are going to change the appearance from the outside as well. So we'll have to be somewhat strategic on where we place things. Okay, let's make them glass walls as well. In my mind, this is like the open living plan. And then this is the bedroom, which, you know, nicely looks out on the garden. This is the bathroom. I also don't know how we're going to make that look nice. I really want the interior to be like cozy. If I can get a glass house to look cozy, I feel like I've done it. So I think like the big thing is gonna be, we want floor to ceiling curtains, just kind of like on the edges in the corners. So it will look like you can kind of like pull it shut all along the walls, which is what is going to give you the privacy. I mean, it's already looking so much more cozy now that we've done that. How does that look from the outside? I mean, it's not like bothering me that much. I definitely liked it more without the curtains, but like I want it to look cozy on the inside. I feel like if we add furniture in, it's gonna look better. What floor do you do in an all glass house? I feel like just like something really warm and inviting. Because how else are you gonna make that look cozy? Okay, we're also gonna do glass doors on the inside to make it that like slightly more insane. Also, how do we feel about like in the bathroom doing some of these like wooden panels to give a little bit more privacy? I just think that will be nice for like the illusion of privacy. And also, I don't know if we like, how many curtains do you realistically want in a bathroom? You know, you can pull it shut from the outside, then this can just be glass, and then any wall that's actually leading to the outside will do like this. Is it too much? Is it too much? There's also another thing we could do. So in Enchanted by Nature, we have these like individual tiles that you can put on walls, so they're not wallpaper. The walls are still glass, but they do cover things up, you know, at least from the inside. I do really like the way that looks. And then we'll keep some of the wood, but we'll also cover some of it with these tiles. I think that'd be really good for like the corner that we put the shower in and the sink in, because that's not gonna look like great with the wood. I think that's pretty good. I think we also need to keep the colors like really, really warm and inviting, because I think a glass house can look very cold very easily. So I think that would be like a great way to make this look more cozy and warm. So like lots of earth tones, lots of oranges. I think that would be good. I think I'm gonna like keep it really neutral. That's not usually what I go for. Usually I like my houses a bit more like colorful, but I think like you really need like the calming earth tones to distract you from the fact that everybody can see into your house at all times. Maybe like a mirror right here. Does that have a matching swatch? Yes. Oh, that makes me so happy. Look at how perfectly that matches. Okay, let's put the hanging plant somewhere. Where does it fit? I wonder if we can like raise this up quite a lot, because technically the ceiling is, you know, there. It's gonna be hard to figure out what height it needs to go to. More than that, now it's outdoors. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can I? Okay, I'm an idiot. I am so dumb. I can totally place this with the roof, with the... Oh my god. I am so stupid. I could just place this with the roof up all this time. Good. That's not embarrassing at all, is it? That was really dumb. Yeah, so now it's like hanging from the actual ceiling. That's cool. I like that because it also kind of like shows how high the ceiling actually is, even when you're on this floor. Okay, I think that's a really pretty bedroom. Where would you put the kitchen? I feel like you put it here. I feel like that makes sense. And then, I mean, this space is kind of lends itself for an island. But then we wouldn't do that, would we? Where do we put a TV? Open floor plans are hard. Okay, if we do like a rounded couch, which I think will look nice anyway, and it will take up a lot of space, which you can do with the Dream Home Decorator pack, by the way. If you click on this little icon, you get a lot of like configurations and you can kind of make your own custom shape however you'd like it. I really don't like that you have to like walk through the living room to get to the bedroom. It just doesn't make sense to me. And also this looked so much better with the curtains in. Okay, different configuration. I mean, I like the living room there, but it certainly doesn't leave much space for anything else. Move it over a bit. I think this is where the kitchen goes. I don't know why. I don't know how, but it goes there. If we place our island here, I mean, we're not going to be able to remove these curtains though. Those are kind of vital because of the bathroom. This is turning out more difficult than I thought. Okay, new plan. I I think like in our mind, we need to see this as a hallway. Actually, that is giving me ideas, because if we can just add more walls, like if we need to anchor it to something, add more walls. Oh my god, imagine cleaning this house, especially where you cook. Oh my god. Actually, that's giving me an idea. We need a backsplash. Wherever we're gonna cook, it needs a backsplash. There's tiles like this in Lovestruck as well. So if you wanted this as an option, we have them in both Enchanted by Nature and in Lovestruck. Okay, we're slightly changing up the layout again. Bear with me, please. Bear with me. I think we're getting somewhere, because then we can do the dining table here, and this is where we can make like our living room corner, kitchen. I think that makes sense. I do want a glass table just because I think it's funny, like as if there's not enough glass in this house already. Okay, this is not the couch that I wanted. That was just a placeholder. What couch do I want though? Definitely nothing too big. I think it needs to be like love seat size. This looks sad and lonely though. There must be something in between that. How's that? Maybe. I think if we do like a rug, it will ground everything a bit more. Okay. I think as far as layout goes, that's pretty good. Honestly, I am really happy with that as a living space. I am so glad I figured out the layouts, like the floor plan. That was hard. So now we just need to do the bathroom. Should we do like one more glass wall just because we can, and then make this like a walk-in shower, and then we'll do the toilet here, kind of separating the two, and then we'll do a sink over here because this wall will look nice with a mirror. I think we're gonna have to remove the wall temporarily, so I can then like move this forward slightly. Then we'll move this one back in, and then it kind of looks like it's hanging from this wooden panel, which I think looks fun. I also think we need more plants. Every room should have some plants. And I think that's pretty much it for the bathroom. Like I don't want to clutter it too much because we already have the wood paneling, and you know, the glass is, it makes everything look a little busy. So I think like calm, not too cluttered, which is crazy for me to say because I like cluttering everything. And I think that's kind of it for the bathroom, which means we have ourselves a renovated former palace greenhouse turned into a livable home, complete with a palace garden, the most amount of privacy I could possibly give these people, an open floor plan with a kitchen, a living room, and a dining table, lots of really pretty earth tones and light wooden swatches, a really warm and inviting bedroom, and of course the bathroom, which again, I tried my best to give these people as much privacy as they can possibly get in a house that is made entirely of glass. And that means our house built exclusively with glass walls and glass roofs is complete.